Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday, November the 3rd. We are here to look at the new releases that have been published this week. On Mondays, we look at cozy mysteries. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you had a safe and happy Halloween and All Hallows Day, etc. And hope the coming week is good for you, filled with new releases, or at least good reading. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday night. My next sprints are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2 hours. We do every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. Let's jump in. Cozies. First up, a new one by Lynn Cahoon. Merry Murder Season, Book 18 in the Tourist Trap Mysteries. Jill's store, Coffee, Books, and More is co-sponsoring a charity dart tournament on Thanksgiving weekend with Chip's Bar, where toys and cash will be collected. She and her new husband Greg will be competing as well. That is, if Greg's brother and his girlfriend don't ruin the evening. But the event leads to something much worse than a family squabble when the bar owner is found dead the next morning after being used as a human dartboard. Jill and her police detective hubby both aim to find the killer, but scoring a bullseye will be hard since the place was packed with a rowdy crowd of locals and a platoon of stuffed animal-toting, very competitive motorcyclists. And with the night's big haul of cash donations left untouched, what could possibly be the motive for this murder? Death by darts. A highly courageous adventure by Lynn Messina. Second in a Regency Cozy Flora Hydeclair mystery. Flora Hydeclair's visit to her beau's ancestral home was always going to be a disaster. Her mother's nervous habit of rambling nonsensically, her father's thinly veiled contempt, her own desperate desire to make a good impression on Sebastian Holcroft's parents, and his seemingly endless parade of siblings all guaranteed that their stay in the country would be intolerably awkward at best. Yet for all her dire misgivings, Flora never imagined one of the household servants would wind up slain in his own bed. But that is precisely what happens to the handsome young land steward. Chock full of bright ideas for the estate's future, Adrian Singleton nevertheless failed to conceive the folly of dallying with an impoverished widow whom he had no intentions of marrying. Tired of his lies, his lover strangles him to death with her scarf, her very stylish scarf. That is the story everyone believes, except Flora, who simply cannot fathom how a poor woman buried in the country would get her hands on a scarf in the first stare of fashion. The lovely accessory has to belong to a lady of means, and although she knows investigating Holcroft sisters for murder is a surefire way to end their relationship, she simply cannot smother her suspicions. She has to poke around until she finds out which one is the culprit. Well, I'm sorry, anyone can steal a scarf. And what does the lady in question say? Hey? Good morning, Mary. Happy Monday. Well, we are now into November. Yes, cruising into the holiday season for sure. And did I have a good weekend? I had a mostly good weekend. I do have to call the dentist this morning. I had a crown pop off, so I need to get that taken care of. But otherwise, not bad. How about you? Did you have a good weekend? Haunted Heart by J.A. Whiting, 22nd in a Lynn Coffin Mysteries series. When landscape designer Lynn Coffin begins restoring the gardens at the historic Peterson house, she expects to uncover old plantings, not buried secrets that have haunted Nantucket for decades. Shortly after starting work at the property, Lynn encounters a ghost, a young carpenter who died in a mysterious fall during renovations in 1987. Unable to communicate verbally, Tommy's spirit desperately tries to show Lynn a hidden object, something worth killing to protect. As Lynn uses her supernatural gift to piece together Tommy's story, she discovers a web of deception involving one of Nantucket's most prominent families. When Margaret Peterson Hayes, the elderly woman who recently sold the house, dies suddenly after researching the same time period, Lynn realizes the danger isn't just historical. With her cousin Viv and a growing circle of allies, Lynn must navigate island politics, family loyalties, and decades-old secrets to uncover the truth. But someone is willing to kill again to keep the past buried, and Lynn's ability to communicate with the dead might make her the next target. Mary says, Regency Cozy. May have to check them out only because it's set in the Regency. I do like the Regency period myself, too. And Elena says, good morning. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? She says, I'm good. Just finished Freed by E.L. James, 100%. Yay! Congratulations! Woo, good job. And Mary says, hi, Elena. And Elena asks, did you get an hour of sleep? I did. I got an extra hour of sleep, and it felt wonderful. How about you? Let's see. Without a Shadow of Doubt, 5th in the Olivia Penn mystery series by Kathleen Bailey. The Highland Games have arrived just outside Apple Station, Virginia, bringing bagpipes, kilts, and a tide of tartan-clad tourists to the cozy small town. Advice columnist Olivia Penn is ready for a weekend of fun now that her life has finally settled into a quiet, steady rhythm. But when a local turns up dead in one of the town's most iconic homes, a cryptic message from a friend draws her into a tangled mystery. As Olivia investigates, family secrets and surprising motives surface, linking 3 brooches, an antique cross, and a 17th century Scottish Bible. Clues connect 7 suspects to the crime, and each has something to hide. When her friend can't be found and the police start asking questions, the mystery hits closer to home and runs deeper than she ever imagined. After an unlikely witness makes a shocking revelation, Olivia enlists her friends and a heroic search and rescue golden retriever to help her follow the trail before it goes cold. The man she loves is caught in the crosshairs, and to protect him, she'll have to risk everything. Justice hinges on a missing cat, a chase through the woods, and a stare down with a mama bear. End of that row. Elena is saying hello to Mary. And my sleep was good, not a morning person, just drinking coffee to keep me awake. Oh, yeah, that helps. The Holly Village Murders by Benedict Brown, 6th in the Marius Quinn Mysteries. London, 1928. Marius Quinn and Lady Bella Montague are ready for a quiet Christmas when they learn that Bella's beloved Aunt Adele has met a shocking end in her picture-perfect cottage. Immediately heading for Holiday Village, the enclave of retired aristocrats and eccentric pensioners where Adele lived, they discover that her death was far from natural. The dead woman's priceless Manet painting has vanished, and a cryptic note she left hints at scandalous goings-on among her neighbors. When another resident is murdered during the village Christmas party, it's clear that a devious killer is preying on the sleepy community. Marius and Bella must navigate a web of village intrigue, false identities, and long-buried scandals to stop this from being a Christmas to remember for all the wrong reasons. Crescent City Christmas Chaos by Ellen Byron, 4th in the Vintage Cookbook series. Have yourself a merry little murder? Ricky James Diaz gets the best present ever when her parents arrive in New Orleans for the holidays. Not only is it a chance to catch up, it's also an opportunity to jog her mom Josepha's memory about Ricky's adoption. The details have always been shrouded in mystery, and Ricky understands why when she learns her mother was blackmailed for years simply for not wanting to lose her precious daughter. But digging into the past soon lands the James Diaz clan in hot water hotter than a big pot of gumbo. When the woman who extorted Ricky's mom is found dead at her home, Josepha becomes the prime suspect. Now Ricky has another murder to solve, and tracking down a killer in Crescent City is going to take a miracle. Luckily, 'tis the season, and Ricky has all the staff at the Bonvie Culinary House Museum on hand to help. Can she prove her mother's innocence and have the case wrapped up in time for Christmas? All Spooked Up by E.J. Copperman, first in the Haunted Paint Store Mysteries. Dealing with her father's recent death, Laura Meehan decides to move back to her New Jersey hometown and take over the paint and wallpaper store he opened after quitting his training job in the police. Knowing that she is uprooting her own and her supportive husband Roy's lives, she's determined to continue her father's legacy and keep the business alive. But that doesn't seem to be the only thing alive when Laura discovers that her store is haunted by none other than her deceased father. Either that or Laura has finally lost her mind and developed post-traumatic stress syndrome. When she discovers the body of the town's deadbeat painter Ernie on top of all that, Laura is determined to find the culprit who rudely used her store as their murder scene. With the help of her ex-police detective father's ghost. Real or not, Laura might as well make use of his expertise. It turns out Ernie owned a lot of money to a lot of people. Could one of them have reached breaking point and killed the freeloader? Good question. Speaking of spooked up Halloween, did y'all get any trick-or-treaters on Halloween? We actually got 6. Woo! 6 more than last year. Marisha's going up to a local apple orchard today to buy some apples. They have Evercrisp, which are a patented apple that growers have to renew the right to grow each season. Never heard of that before. Wow! Oh, let us know. The Evercrisp lasts all winter and is crisp, delicious, and great for just eating or cooking. Very versatile and delicious. Few orchards have them. Oh, that sounds wonderful. What a great experience. My favorite are the Macintosh, and stores don't carry them anymore. No trick-or-treaters. Gotcha. Yeah, we had 6. Dancing Angels by Alice Duncan, 10th in the Mercy Alcott Mysteries. 1927, Los Angeles. The Murray Dance Studio becomes a hotspot for murder when one of its talented dancers, Lucille Murray, is found dead. The once vibrant and glamorous studio now lies under a cloud of suspicion and fear. Private investigator Ernie Templeton is quickly drawn into the case when Mercy Alcott, his spirited and determined assistant, insists on uncovering the truth. Despite Ernie's objections, Mercy enlists the help of her friends Lulu and Sue, and together the trio delves into an intricate world of dance, deception, and danger. As Mercy, Ernie, Lulu, and Sue navigate a tangle of lies and secrets, they uncover rivalries, hidden agendas, and dangerous passions that threaten to consume them all. With each pirouette and paso doble, the stakes get higher, and the murderer is determined to keep the secrets buried at any cost. End of that row. The High Tide Murder, 6th in the Shell House Detective Mysteries by Amelia Hall. The High Tide Hotel, overlooking stunning Trebarron Cove, is a dream destination for an autumnal getaway. But the serene atmosphere of this luxury enclave is shattered when the body of a guest is discovered on the terrace directly below their balcony. The victim's friend is adamant that this was no accident, and when it emerges that the dead man was a detective with a checkered past, the police inquiry intensifies. Meanwhile, fellow guest Jaden, one half of the Shell House detectives, wastes no time in bringing Allie on board to help find the killer. With the hotel cut off by a storm on the night of the murder, everyone at the High Tide is a suspect. As Allie and Jaden delve deeper into the past of both guests and staff, they uncover a mass of secrets and complex connections. Who wanted this man dead, or rather, who wanted him dead most? As the tide turns, the investigation leads them into a life or death situation. Who will pay the final price for discovering the truth? Tamara Myers has a new one in her Pennsylvania Dutch long-running series. It is book number 25. Foul Play. Octogenarian Mennonite widow Magdalena Yoder-Yozen has sold the Dutch pen Dutch inn and moved into a luxury cottage in Heaven's Gate, a genteel retirement community close to Hernia, with her old friend Agnes. Mags is keen to settle into her new surroundings, but when she beats undefeated Scrabble champion Marion Simpson, she quickly creates enemies and chaos. Surely hosting a scrumptious dinner party will help Mags curry favor with her neighbors. Unfortunately, Mag's plan backfires when Marion is poisoned by the chicken samosa starter with its delicious dipping sauce, drawing Mags into another murder investigation. Can the newly crowned Scrabble Queen outwit a foul killer? Murder in Venice by T.A. Williams. 13th in Armstrong and Oscar. Whoop! Cozy Mysteries. Private investigator Dan Armstrong can't believe his luck when he's invited to the luxury villa of none other than Alice Graceland, movie legend and queen of the silver screen. Could this be his big break, a chance to schmooze with stars and pitch his own murder mystery series? He's already imagining red carpets and a golden Oscar to accompany his faithful canine companion Oscar the Labrador. But when he gets there, things start to look far from magical. Alice isn't looking to bankroll Dan's writing, but instead she wants him to play host at a murder mystery evening with a glamorous but suspiciously tense collection of Hollywood royalty. It should be a meeting of old friends, but just how friendly are they? There's champagne, candlelight, and an increasing number of grudges floating beneath the surface. As the murder mystery evening takes a sinister turn, Dan and Oscar find themselves navigating more than City's Canal to find the truth. The really awkward thing about that summary is there are no apostrophes for the possessives there, so there's just these dangling S's everywhere. It's just kind of weird. Riddles Among the Roses by Christy T. Tixon. The 4th in the Cloverhaven Mysteries. Mary says, I'm betting she does outwit him. What do you think? I think so. She's been doing it like 25 times. She's got some experience. I was going to say miles. Bodies are vanishing from Cloverhaven's morgue, and every disappearance comes with a riddle left behind. For florist Neely Kelter, the mystery hits too close to home, especially when her sleuthing stirs up dangerous secrets and suspicious suspects. Sheriff Troy McGregor wants her focused on anything but crime, but their 20-year almost something has finally turned into a real relationship, and he knows better than anyone that Neely won't stay out of it. With unsettling clues, old grudges, and a too charming newcomer lurking around town, Neely must solve the puzzle before someone ensures her name is the next one written in rhyme. Isn't. Is. End of that row. Death Upon the Lonesome Wild, 6th in the Gertrude Harrington Mysteries by Benjamin Ford. With her brother and American sister-in-law in tow, Gertrude heads north to the tranquil peace of the Lake District village of Havenbridge to visit her estranged sister Gladys. Unsure of the welcome she will receive following the tragic death of Gladys's daughter, Gertrude is... I can't say that name. Gertrude. I'm familiar with the name, it's just hard to say, is reluctant to make the trip. In the same village, a film crew has descended to make a movie based on the poem Lucy Gray by William Wordsworth. Star of the film, Etta LaFay, is the new bride of the local landowner, Sir Grenville Westhaven. The director, Anthony Periveau, once lived at the village, but was ostracized decades earlier by a scandal involving the Westhaven family. Gertrude has barely set foot in the village before Etta LaFay disappears, and then the murders begin. All is not quite as it seems within the once peaceful Lakeland village, and life will never be the same again. Elvis, Dolly Parton, and the Crime of Many Colors. Elvis Presley Mysteries, book number 3 by C. Love. It's not all rock and roll in yesteryear. With Elvis Fest all wrapped up, it's time for the town's next big event, the Country Jamboree. Up-and-coming country singers have descended upon yesteryear, ready to pay tribute to great country stars of the 50s through 70s. It's going to be a great time full of good music, amazing food, and, oh no, someone vandalized Jolene Smollett's dressing room and threatened the singer many are calling the hottest new act out of Nashville. It looks like there's a new case for me and Elvis Pursley, with a little help from our new friend Dolly Parton. Oh gosh. That one will be too much. One more. Girls Who Play Dead by Joelle Wellington. When Mickey Graves left his small, stifling hometown of Prophet's Lake to live with his estranged mother, he thought nothing could ever make him return for good, until his sister Kyla's best friend Erin is murdered. Mickey never worried about leaving Kyla behind at their family-owned funeral home so long as she had Erin. But when Mickey heads home determined to help Kyla grieve, the sister he encounters barely resembles the one he remembers. Mickey decides then and there to do the one thing that seems even more impossible than returning: stay. As Kyla spirals further into her rage and secrets, Mickey realizes the only thing that can help his sister is finding the truth about who killed Erin. But the more he investigates, the further he's pulled into other ugly secrets of Prophet's Lake and the beauty brand that is its lifeblood. The town's rot runs deep, and everyone has something to hide, perhaps no one more than Kyla herself. And the bell is about to ring, so we will stop there. It's a cover that I will remember, so that's also helpful. But I always say, everybody remember where we parked. Mary says, no thank you to contrive for me. That is a good word. That is a very good word. Alrighty. Have a good Monday, everybody. Again, I don't have sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night. And on Wednesday morning, we'll look at the darker side. We'll look at crime fiction and thrillers. All right. Thank you very much. Have a very good day. Mary says, thanks so much. Hope you all have a great week. Hope to see you later at Thunderhorse Descendant unveiling. Oh, cool. Of the Christmas box. I'll do my best. I got to get into the dentist, so I'll go whenever they say I can go. But hopefully I can be there. Plus, it's also Monday. All right. As the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Om nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.